Hey, good evening. It's another great night for hockey at Patterson Ice Center. I'm Matt Gajtka, back on the East Hockey live stream. It's been a while. It's been nearly 3 weeks since the last time that your East Grand Rapids Pioneers took the ice. That was out in Flint, but they're back home tonight, and in fact, starting a mini 2-game homestand in what will be a very busy January, as this evening they take on their new OK Rue rivals in the Grand Rapids Christian Eagles. The Eagles come in with a record of 6-6. Your Pioneers at 9-2. So a couple of teams who haven't played that much in comparison to other squads across the state of Michigan. So they'll be itching to get back at it. In fact, Christian already did get back at it in a big way. They made the long trip up to the UP, and of course the Pioneers know what that's like, as they made the journey earlier this season. But just last weekend, the Christian Eagles continued a recent hot streak as they beat Manistee and Escanaba up at those two rinks way up north. And so they return home with a record of 500. I mentioned 6-6 for head coach Sean Zimmerman. The Eagles so far are a high-scoring team. They've scored exactly 4 goals per game, 48 of them in 12 games played, but they are 6th out of 8 teams in the Rue division. And if that 4 goals per game number sounds familiar, that's because your Pioneers have the exact same offensive output thus far this season. Through 11 games, they've scored 44 times. They started the season with a 7-0 record, losing in overtime to Marquette for their first loss, way up there, like I mentioned, up north. And then a tight victory against Sault Ste. Marie, and then they finished off December, splitting a weekend on the road. They beat Rockford in a game you saw here on the East Hockey live stream, 2-1, dramatically in overtime on an Owen Stropke winner, the first goal by a defenseman this season for East Grand Rapids, and the first goal of the career of Owen Stropke, who's in his 3rd varsity season as he returned from semi-long-term injury. So the drama was high, and the Pioneers got the victory to improve to 9-1. But the next day, they traveled out to Flint and took a 2-2 tie into the 3rd period against a team that many are considering one of the favorites, if not the favorite, in Division III in Flint Powers. And then the home team, the Chargers, poured on 3 goals in the 3rd, including a couple of power play tallies. So that penalty kill for East Grand Rapids got perforated a couple of times, but overall this season it's been a massive strength for this team, along with the offense and along with their freshman goalie, Charlie Finch, who has a .920 save percentage and a 1.91 goals against average, including a shutout victory that came here at this rink against the Forest Hills Northern and Eastern Bird Dogs. So the Pioneers get back into Grand Rapids area play this week. Tonight, obviously, against Christian, then Friday here at home against West Ottawa, and then a showdown Saturday against the first-place Caledonia Fighting Scots at Kentwood. So 3 in, 3 and 4 days, coming off a long break, 18 days to be exact, between games, as this team tries to get a rev back up. It's been a policy under head coach Chris Newton that he likes to take a longer break over the holidays. He feels like it benefits his team in the long run, and so he'll once again test that theory against a Christian team that's coming on. They started the season 1-4, but all 4 of those losses in the early season stretch were against winning teams in Reese Puffer, Catholic Central, Byron Center, and Bay Reps here in the West Michigan Showcase. So honestly, 6-6 doesn't tell the whole story for Christian. It should be quite the stiff challenge for the Pioneers this evening. All right, the Zamboni has done its business. The referees and linesmen are out on the ice skating a few laps. So I'll take a short break and bring it back for the starting lineups and the national anthem from Patterson. Keep it right here on the East Hockey live stream. We're moments away from Pioneers hockey.
with surgeons, with like, you know, patient xenografts, like real clinical adjacent work.
Your starting lineups for the Grand Rapids Christian Eagles, sporting a record of 6-6, sixth place in the Rue division for head coach Sean Zimmerman. On the blue line, we've got the sophomore Sam DeYoung alongside the junior Drew Shripka. And then up front, Joshua Hooper, the co-captain and leading scorer, 12 goals and 30 points on the year. He's flanked by Cam Loffer, another co-captain, and Brody Basor, both of whom have 10 goals. So that line has produced the lion's share of the offense for the Eagles so far this season. And Braden Mallinger, starting goalie, the senior, has a spectacular .942 save percentage that ranks ninth in the state. Last year he was also quite good, helping power the Eagles to a 15-10 finish, even though they fell in the first round of the regional playoffs. Time for the national anthem. I'll get you the East starting lineups in just a moment on the East Hockey live stream. That Eagles top line has accounted for 32 of its 48 goals so far this season. The Pioneers have a similarly powerful line to start today's game in seniors Brady Ross, Oliver Owen, and James Albers. Albers 9 goals, Owen 8, Ross 7. That adds up, doing the quick math, to 24 out of the Pioneers' 44 total goals. Ross leads the team in assists with 12. Albers leads the team in points with 20. On the blue line, the sophomore, number 24, Cooper Rowan, alongside the senior, number 5, Owen Stropke. I mentioned Stropke coming off the heroic effort against Rockford after suffering an injury against Salem in the opening week of the season and missing several weeks really, after that. And Charlie Finch, the freshman, one of the top stories in all of Michigan high school hockey, gets the start this evening. As expected, he's played all but 1 minute so far for your Pioneers. Getting set for the drop of the puck on the Grand Rapids Griffins logo at center ice on the East Rink at Patterson Ice Center. The Pioneers 9-2, back at it after the holiday break. They're ranked 6th by state champs, 7th by Petey's Picks, and 9th by Michigan High School Hockey Hub. It's a consensus top 10 squad the Pioneers are icing this year. And it's flipped into the zone by Oliver Owen. He skates in after it, retrieved by Christian Sam DeYoung. Try to clear it around. Stropke held it in at the point, but his shot goes deflecting into the far corner, and it's scooped up on the fly by Cam Loffer. Sent it ahead looking for Basor, but it's off his body. Albers, the newly minted captain, he's got the C on his jersey. That's a surprise to me. I should have asked Coach Chris Newton about that in our weekly chat, but Albers helps get the puck out the center. Owen ladles it along. Here comes Brady Ross, and he's stopped by Malin from point blank. Owen threw it right back through the crease. It comes out high in the zone. It's held there by Ross. Long shot, and blocked to the corner by Graham Bayan. Over to the far side, and Winkle comes off the bench for East Grand Rapids. He's first to the puck in the corner. 1 minute gone in the first period already. The Pioneers turning up the pressure. It'll be Bjornsson handing off. Banked off the boards by Winkle, back to Ethan Brinker. He tees a shot up, and it's blockered out by Malin. Whit Hill, the freshman D, pumps it deep back behind the goal. It's Nolan Brooks on it. He's stripped of the puck, though, and taking it out of the near side corner. Oliver Ains couldn't get it out as Brinker was run over, but he kept the puck in the offensive zone. That's what hockey's all about, taking the hit to make the play. Sometimes Winkle, though, gets fouled high in the zone, and the puck drifts to the neutral zone. Taking it back for Christian Ains. He leads it up the far wing to no one in particular. That's picked off by Trevor Bird, and back come the Pioneers on the forecheck. Bird, another freshman, getting significant playing time for Chris Newton's Pioneers, but he couldn't force the turnover there. Instead, Stropke has to send it through center. Runyon stumbled down at center ice, and the puck back in the possession of the Grand Rapids Christian Eagles. Only 13 skaters available tonight for the Eagles. Very short roster, and the Pioneers will hope to put the screws to them as the game goes along, especially after that long trip last weekend for the Eagles. I'm sure they would have loved a longer time off after the return, but they're back at it here. Finch pins it down at the side of his net. First action for Charlie. Charlie, like the team, has a record of 9-2 on the season. Not a bad turnout from the student section. On a Wednesday night late, we're getting started just before 9 o'clock. And judging by the light snow outside, I don't think we're going to have any 2-hour delay in the morning. So I appreciate the students who did turn out, contributing their energy. Lead pass off the stick of Owen. It's not icing. He was ahead of the red line. Owen gets to it. Backhand feed looking for Albers, but poked away from him. Josh Hooper comes back with it. He tried once and twice to get it through center. Basor reaches out, but Stropke latches onto it. Stropke wearing the A on his jersey. Coach Newton likes to give out the letters about halfway through the year, so he's done that coming off the long holiday break. Rifled in by the Eagles. Side of the net, Finch let it go. Stropke took a bump, but nudged it around, and it's on to Ross. Ross pulled the trigger on the shot. That missed the target. Owen lofts it softly toward the corner, intercepted and sent all the way down 200 feet by the Eagles' Drew Shripka, the junior defenseman, and that's an icing against Grand Rapids Christian. Well, these two teams used to meet in the OK Bomb division. Now they're in the Rue together, but just the one meeting on the schedule, barring a collision in the, well, hold on that as Brooks takes the shot and missed the goal. A collision in the OK Conference Tournament, which comes up the second weekend of February. But the standings will dictate the matchups there. And of course, they could meet in the region tournament, too. That would be in late February. Dane Fitzgibbon, the hulking defenseman, shoots wide of the net. It bounces off the corner boards and right out in front. Fitzgibbon followed his shot, and so Finch freezes. Fitzgibbon easily the largest player on the Christian team. The backup goalies tonight, William Eckley, the senior for East, and another senior on the other side, opening and closing the door, Tyson Van Sprang. He's played in 4 games, so he's seen a decent amount of action. But it's Malin tonight, as you would imagine, in this marquee matchup for the Eagles, trying to make a statement here against the Pioneers. Winkle whips it across. Good pass. Stropke couldn't quite take it cleanly. Now he lets it go on the shot, and he missed the goal. Off the corner boards and out through to center. So Winkle's got an A on his jersey. Bennett Winkle Couldn't force it through the picket fence that the Eagles had set up, and now he gets on the loose puck, does Winkle. Sends it ahead. Owens in clean, and it's offside. Very late call at the blue line. That's a couple of seconds later than you'd like to see that whistle sound, but the play blown dead. On the video again tonight, welcome back Jake Tiedema. And of course, a huge welcome back to head coach Chris Newton, who is behind the bench. He's got a mask on for his protection less than a month after a double lung transplant. Can you believe it? You can't keep this guy away from the rink. And the Pioneers are happy to have him back for sure around the squad. Again, I say, less than a month after double lung transplant. It's wild, but there he is. Inspirational figure for sure. If the Pioneers needed any more motivation, just got to look behind the bench and see how dedicated their coach is to their success. Owen stretches out into the corner. Let it over to Albers. He tried a quick shot on the backhand, but it's poke checked by Braden Malin. Brinker holds at the blue line. Chops it deep. It horseshoes in behind the net. DeYoung captures it for Christian, and he just speeds it all the way down for another icing against the Eagles. 12:02 to go in the first period. No score on the board. The Pioneers have had some glimpses of offensive chances. Malin made the point-blank save on Brady Ross early on. That's the best look so far. And the face-off in the Christian end. Really a good turnout for both sides. Christian always travels well. Whenever I've called Catholic Central games over the years, you see a good amount of Columbia blue and black in the house. Stropke wanted to guide it through, thread the needle to Goosens. That's Jake Goosens, the forward. Couldn't quite do it. And here's the lead pass from Ains that misses its intended target. It was supposed to go on to Drew Bierlein, and it's a third consecutive icing call against Christian. So Christian's coming off the weekend success in the UP at Manistee, 6-3 win at Escanaba, 5-3 win against the Eskimos. Also, prior to that, they beat Caledonia 4-1. That's just the second loss all year so far for the Fighting Scots, who the Pioneers will see on the road on Saturday. Winkle drags it after the faceoff win. Top of the circle, made a couple of men miss. Bennett Winkle putting on a show. Showing off the hands to the middle of the ice, kicks it to his stick, and finally the Eagles rally to the cause, but they give it away to Bjornsson, but then poked off his blade, back to Stropke at center ice, and he'll simply shoot in off an Eagles body. Back behind his net, DeYoung trying to fend off Brooks. That's Nolan Brooks, the senior forward. Not to be confused with Porter Brooks, the freshman D, who touches it now, sends it up near wing. Brooks on it again, delayed offside against the Eagles. They had to tag up, and they do. Now Basor surges in. Brody Basor down the right wing. Stripped of the puck, but it's onto the blade of the high-scoring Joshua Hooper, number 12. Hooper to Basor in the corner, looking out in front. The pass was broken up. Hooper drags it toward the front, and that was taken away as well. An attempted shot toward the net by Miles Rublon was blocked away, and wristed in by Drew Shripka of the Eagles. Best shift so far for them, and no surprise, it's their big scoring line. This time the puck's lifted into the rafters just above the East Grand Rapids bench. Assistant coach Grant Newton tried to flag it down. He's got his camera in one hand, tried to catch the puck in the other. Grant's still rocking the stash, so it wasn't a Movember thing, that's for sure. Still got it 2 months later. Albers at the dot, lost that draw though to Sam DeYoung. Back to the near side and a high-rising wrist shot way over the goal. There's a blast from the far wing by Shripka. That missed the target too. So I don't think there's technically been a shot on net against Charlie Finch yet for the Eagles nearly 7 minutes into the first period. Fitzgibbon hacked it off the skate of Albers. Punched back in deep by the Eagles. Brinker retrieves for East Grand Rapids. Looks over his shoulder. And with Fitzgibbon pursuing him, sends it far side to the open man. That's Oliver Owen. Clears it across, looking for Ross perhaps. It's behind the net though. And a lot of ice time already for Oliver Ains. He gives it up at center ice to Porter Brooks. And Brooks returns it right back in. Ains under pressure from the rangy Owen. He's got an A on his jersey too. Jake Goosens calls for the puck at the bottom edge of the right circle. Couldn't get it as Bird ended up giving it away to Ains. Ains drives it off the glass. Down it goes, and the linesman has it for icing once again. That's at least 4, maybe 5 against Christian in the opening 7+ minutes of this period. I'm still on alternate captain watch. Try to get you everybody who is sporting a letter. I told you Winkle already. Winkle, Owen, Stropke I've got with A's, and Albers with C. Quite the honor with this proud program, the East Grand Rapids Pioneers. Stropke shoots in, delayed offside, Pioneers tag up. And again, it's Ains. Good lead pass this time, hits Basor in stride, but he's 1-on-2. Run off the puck, turning it toward the net. Hooper, there's the first real save of the game for Charlie Finch. Pushed off the boards, kept in at the line by Shripka near side. He chipped it down deep. It'll be Stropke on it. Brooks cancels out his man. Winkle follows on. He's got Bjornsson at center, but Winkle goes backward with it. Good choice as Stropke hooks up with Rowan, and into the corner. Rowan gets it back at the blue line, lines up a shot. Hacked out toward the blue again. Brinker wristing, never got through. Malin reacted, but one of his teammates blocked that. Cam Loffer looks like as he's limping off to the bench. Not a lot of players on that Christian bench. Just 8 reserves available in terms of skaters. Turn to the side wall, Brinker. He's under heavy pressure from Fitzgibbon, who's forechecking like a demon at the moment. But he gets caught behind. Brinker mishandled, but he still managed to nudge the puck out to center. So the Pioneers still trying to find their legs on the breakout, but here's Runyon parading ahead. Soft shot from the wall, and glove down and held by Braden Malin, who holds on with exactly 8 minutes to go in the first. These two teams got off to opposite starts, really. East won its first 7. 9 of its first 10 before the loss to number 1 ranked Flint Powers Catholic, number 1 in Division 3, that is. The Pioneers are 3 in Division 3 at the moment. Or excuse me, Powers Catholic is up in D2 now. I keep confusing them with someone else as it's dropped off. Shot by Owen, save made from the slot. Malin got the pads together to prevent Owen from breaking the ice. Tonight at Patterson, late night action on a Wednesday. Thank you for joining me on the East Hockey live stream. My name is Matt Gajtka. Good to see the Pioneers again after nearly 3 weeks off. Ross thought about a shot. Now Owen rallies to the cause, but it's chipped away from him, and the Eagles deflected ahead. Fitzgibbon just behind the icing line. Yes, it was. And so back we go, and a theme from this first period, more than halfway through it. 7:21 left before the break. Anyway, as I was saying, the Pioneers got off to that great start. The Eagles lost their, 4 of their first 5, 5 of their first 7. They beat Plymouth in the opener, but then lost to Reeths Puffer, Catholic Central, Byron Center, and Bay Reps in order before they beat Walled Lake right here in the Classic, as it's turned toward the front by Brooks. Bjornsson might have got a poke on it, but Malin smothers it at the front of his net. But then also for the Eagles, a 5-4 overtime loss to Rockford. They beat Allen Park, lost to Wyandotte Roosevelt on the road. But then they've won 3 in a row since then. Bjornsson tries to shoot and was blocked at the point of attack, top of the face-off circle. Cam Loffer dumped in deep. Finch held it up there. Stropke back to his defense partner, Cooper Rowan. He looks up, flips it over the top, went the aerial route, didn't quite work out as it's kept in at the blue line. Turning shot from Constantine Kim. That was fended off. Or excuse me, that was Ben DeYoung actually. Getting his first touch of the puck this evening for the Eagles. DeYoung keeps it in at the blue line as Winkle couldn't handle the lead pass. DeYoung shot, save Finch, loose puck in front on the rebound, and Winkle swoops in to save the day. Here he comes back on the attack. He's got Bjornsson with him. 2-on-4 though, as the Pioneers are changing behind the play. Winkle's pass intercepted at the net mouth by Ains. And Ben DeYoung cracks it off the near side boards and back out to center. Brinker pivots. Here he comes. The big man lets it go off the chest of Malin. It hops free to the side, and Ains pushed it behind the net. But the Pioneers are on it. It's Runyon backhanding right on goal from behind the net. And Malin had to be sharp to capture that in his paraphernalia. And he stops the music with 5:58 left in the first. Malin, just a 4-4 record, but that's why a record is a horribly blunt instrument with which to judge goaltenders. The puck shot out of play by the Eagles. Will do it again in their zone for another face-off. But Malin, a 4-4 record, but a .942 save percentage. You don't often see those two things go together. 500 mark and a save percentage nearing, what would that be? Nearly 19 out of 20 shots on average he stops. If you're not familiar with hockey, that's pretty good. That's really good. It's good for top 10 in the state of Michigan. And Finch isn't too far behind as a freshman. .920 is his save percentage. The battle is on for the loose puck at the half wall in the Pioneers' end. And Porter Brooks spun off the biscuit. But back behind the goal, Brinker has it in full control. Sharp short pass on to Goosens. And whacked into the attacking zone, but now pushed back out. Pioneers have the tag up, and in fact, Goosens, Bird, and Runyon hightail it off the ice for a line change. Pushed back behind the Pioneers' net, and Porter Brooks leads the charge this time. His saucer pass through center, that went off the body of Brody Basor, co-captain for the Christian Eagles. And fed ahead by Brinker. There goes Owen after it. He wins the battle. Owen twisting, trying to find some room to get that shot off, and he's got a good one. He couldn't shoot there. Sent it to the front, and Ross just shoved it wide. Tough one-timer angle for him. Now it's Ross shooting. Save, rebound, and Albers sent it right over the crossbar off the high glass. It stays in play with 4.5 to go in the period. Owen knocks down the clearing play, but Ross spun around on the check and couldn't locate the puck. Slicing through center is Basor, left it off, bouncing shot, tricky one, Loffer, and a save made by Finch, and the rebound hopped away from Loffer, who followed his rebound to the net. Loffer picks off this pass, lets it go, wrist shot, save made, glove side by Finch, and he keeps with 4:07 left in the first period. No goals, no penalties in this one. Last year, East Grand Rapids won the season series 2-0. They prevailed 4-0 here. James Albers had 2 goals. Nolan Brooks and Bennett Winkle 2 assists apiece. And then East won 2-1 in overtime at the Eagles Ice Center. Hooper had the lone goal for Christian. Stropke, the only returner from last year to put up a point in that game, he had an assist. Cleared by the Pioneers, and they're offside. Bjornsson was preceded into the zone by Brooks. Actually, it's an offside pass from the Pioneers' end, so that brings it all the way back to the defensive zone. 2 years ago, the teams split their series 1-1. Ross and Albers had a couple of points. Josh Hooper on the Christian side had 3 points in the season series, a goal and 2 assists. He's been putting up the points for a while, Hooper has, for the Eagles. From the near wall, clicked ahead to Brooks, flicks it forward to himself. Brooks backhand. Oh, that just skipped wide of the post. Good opportunity there for Nolan Brooks, who scored in the game against Flint Powers Catholic. Another icing against Christian. The Eagles are just throwing it down the rink when they're under pressure. Not taking any chances. They're banking on the fact they're going to be able to win some faceoffs and survive the onslaught that way. Winkle against Cash Loffer at the dot. Winkle pushed it to the wall, but Sam DeYoung jams it around, up in the air. Cash Loffer escorts it at least out the center. Pushed right back in on Braden Malin. He'll keep the play moving. Ains loves the long headman pass. Just in general, Christian likes to stretch it out, it looks like, on the breakout. Owen swooping in, though. Owen to the dot. Save made by Malin. Loose puck, and he pounces on it at the side of his net. Braden Malin, again, proving to be tough to crack early in this one. 3:13 to go in the first. I came out here for a stick and puck skate with my older son Lucas over the holiday break, and who did I see out here working on their skills but Oliver Owen and James Albers in their team issue helmets. Just great to see guys out there for the fun of it. Yeah, you're working on your skills, but if you're out there at stick and puck with 100 other little kids, you got to love the game. And, of course, they do. Turned over in the East Grand Rapids zone, and a deflected shot from Basor ends up over the glass and out of play. Halting action in the first period. We had some free flow in the middle portion of it, but now we've seen several whistles. And that's not really a bad thing for Christian with the short bench. Right to the front of the net, the puck was pushed off the face-off, and Finch decides to hold it there. Cam Loffer had the opportunity. We've got Cam and Cash Loffer, as well as Sam and Ben DeYoung on the Eagles. And then we've got the Goosenses, plural, on East Grand Rapids, and the Brookses. So 2 pairs of brothers on both sides. Fun for the broadcaster, as you would imagine, as Shripka turns it down the wall, deflected into the slot, and a fluttering shot. Finch made a save on Loffer's chance. Right back to the line. Wrister was blocked. Shripka couldn't get it through, but it still hops to the side of the net, and Loffer was denied again by Finch on the backhand side this time. Hooper tried to drag it in front. Here come the Eagles suddenly with some good sustained pressure. But Owen takes control of the puck, pushes it out over the blue line, but he's stripped. And in comes Hooper, throwing it just off target. Finch stopped it anyway. And Whit Hill sends it near wing. Down to 2:11 to go in the period. The Pioneers just trying to get the puck out of their zone. At the moment, they couldn't do it. Broken up. Hooper to the dot, wristing. Save made by Finch on his knees. And he hangs on. That's what you need out of your goaltender at times. Get the save, get the stoppage, get some fresh bodies out there. 2:01 left in the first. I mentioned the Goosenses, but I have not seen Caden Goosens. Was told prior to the game he was ill, so he might not play. And I don't think he's been out there. I'm not sure he's available tonight. The junior defenseman, third-year varsity player, though. So Rowan, he's going to get some more ice time as Cooper Rowan. To the corner, Fitzgibbon. Back behind, pushed in front, and the shot was blocked, I believe, from close range. Good opportunity for the forward Cash Loffer. Was right out in front. The Pioneers couldn't make it happen on the attack. And again cleared by the Eagles. A weird bounce off the partition on the near side in the neutral zone. And it's icing again as Bjornsson and DeYoung are separated. They were jawing at each other after a collision just outside the Eagles' blue line. 1:22 remaining in the first. You're watching the East Hockey live stream. Back at it again. By the way, programming note, next Wednesday's game against Catholic Central will be on the Catholic Central channel, Cougar Puck Radio. I'll be broadcasting it as my two worlds collide for the Teddy Bear Toss night here at Patterson. So looking forward to that. Hill just found an open seam and fed the puck through it. And luckily for him, it bounces right in on Braden Malin, who softly hands off to Shripka, emerging from behind his net. Under a minute to go in the first period. Albers tried to tap it one-handedly. Instead, it's pushed past him, and Basor set sail, dropped it off Hooper a shot. That's off the arm, the blocker arm, that is, of Charlie Finch. to the near boards, and it drifts through to center ice now. Hill chasing it, kicks it ahead. Hard charging play by Whitaker Hill, the freshman D. 30 seconds remaining in the first period. Now Hill retreats. Stropke looks back over his shoulder. The puck chipped past him, and it has enough steam for yet another icing against Grand Rapids Christian with 27.5 seconds showing on the first period clock. East trying to make it 3 wins in a row against their new and old division rivals in the Christian Eagles. They will not play at Eagles Ice Center this year. Doesn't appear, because the home team would have the home ice if they do play in the OK Conference Tournament. And East has 3 more wins than Christian at this point. It's not out of the realm, but likely that they would be the home team if they were to meet the Eagles. Brinker takes it behind his net after the long dump down was deflected, so no icing against Christian this time. Long shot from nearly the red line by Drew Shripka, patted out by Finch just before the buzzer sounds. 17 minutes in the books. Absolutely nothing on my score sheet. No goals, no penalties. But the Pioneers and the Eagles actually each had some chances in that first period. A lot early for the Nears, and then the Eagles had some pushback later. So we'll take a break from Patterson Ice Center here at the East Rink. I'm Matt Gajtka. Keep it right here for more East Grand Rapids Pioneers boys hockey as we start the new year in style.
Good to see you, man. Enjoy the rest of the game. Hopefully it's yeah, I'm gonna stick around for a little bit, and then well, I don't know, we'll see. All right. Have a good night. Figure out how to extract myself here.
Back and getting set for the second period. I'm Matt Gajtka. This is the East Hockey live stream on YouTube. Remember to like and subscribe, as the kids say. I should also mention it is Hockey Fights Cancer Night, so around the perimeter of the rink in the concourse, folks attending the game, players as well, have filled out the American Cancer Society placards that say who they're playing for, who they fight for, who they stand for in particular, when it comes to people in their lives who have battled and suffered with cancer. So, as always, a worthy cause, and great to see a couple local hockey teams taking part in the, I don't want to call them festivities, in the commemoration, I suppose, of the fight against cancer. And hockey does continue to fight cancer. There's the drop of the puck, and we're off and rolling for period number 2. Nothing on the board yet between these two teams in the OK Rue division. The Pioneers at 9-2, the Eagles at 6-6. Another strange bounce off one of the metal partitions that separates the panes of glass, and so Hooper works his way back to the corner, and he shot it on net, and Finch had to be sharp to keep that out by a couple of inches. Finch, I think, thought that Hooper was going to swerve behind the net, and then all of a sudden Hooper saw an opening, and he fired it right on goal and nearly surprised the EGR goalie. Well, I know he surprised him, but he nearly surprised him in a big way and got the puck behind him. So Hooper continues to be a hazardous threat on the attacking end of the ice. Hooper poked it forward off the face-off and couldn't quite pull off that move. Owen gave it up to Oliver Ains, and the right-handed shooting defenseman lifts it into the Pioneers' end behind the goal. 16:30 left in the second period. Just underway in the second. Coming off the wall base, or threw it right to the front of the net, and Finch had to make a save on that. I think it was more of a pass than a shot, but ended up on target. Ben DeYoung twists it back to the blue line. Who's going to take it? It'll be pushed toward the slot by Sam DeYoung and cleared by the Pioneers. Sam DeYoung, lead feed, picked off by the stepping up move of Owen Stropke. Stropke lost control, though. Gave it away, so Brinker's got to go back for it. Icing against Christian. The Eagles have a couple of games in the Rue Division next week. They play Forest Hills Northern and Eastern at home at Eagles Ice Center next Wednesday. Then they've got Forest Hills Central. I believe that game's here on the 22nd. Whoa, big hit as Fitzgibbon, who else, knocked down Jake Goosens after the face-off. But again, the Eagles are guilty of icing, and Fitzgibbon slams his stick down. He's frustrated. He's given all he's got, and he was upset that the pass didn't come through from Beerline. And the two appear to have worked out their differences. I like to see that. I like to see players not afraid to let into their teammates every once in a while, as long as you work it out in the end and it's constructive. Got to make your point sometimes. And hockey's an emotional sport. Turned over and a chance. It's blocked. Rebound goes off the goalpost from Fitzgibbon. The first opportunity didn't get all the way through as the Pioneers turned it over to Cash Loffer, but then Fitzgibbon followed up and he rung iron. So there's your first goalpost of the night. It goes to Grand Rapids Christian. Bird turned it out in front of the net. So the Pioneers trying to get things sorted out. They had a good start to the game in the first, but this second, they've been a little shaky with the puck so far as Finch hands off to Hill. Around the boards it goes, and it skips by the reach of Bryce Bjornsson and into the neutral zone. But here's a lead pass from the Eagles that bounces off a man right to Bjornsson, but he couldn't get by the defending on the perimeter of the Eagles. A couple of men came together, including Constantine Kim, who clears it around the near side. Now Rubline chips it up and out for the Eagles. Whit Hill drives it ahead. Off the stick of Malin to the corner. Bjornsson stops on a dime. Bryce Bjornsson has some room. Shoots. Pad save Malin. Comes off him. And Malin dives out of his crease to hop on top of it as Bjornsson takes a couple of glove shots to the face and to the chest as he whacked away looking for that loose puck. Still nothing on the board. But not for lack of trying. The Eagles just hit a post. The Pioneers buzzing around the goal. It's been fun to see some familiar faces at the rink again. Like I said, it almost feels like a whole new season for East. Mission accomplished in the first half of the season, if you will. They played 11 games, won 9 of them. Driving down the wing, Ains pass to the front of the net and broken up at the last second and flicked out of danger to the safety of center by Porter Brooks and company. Offside against Christian. Or maybe that was an icing. Actually, it was. The lead pass did not connect for Grand Rapids Christian. Christian returns 11 skaters from last year's team. They went 15-10. Plus, of course, their goalie, Braden Malin, a very important piece to the puzzle. He gives them a chance every night. The faceoff won by East, and Rowan sends it toward the front, and it bounces free behind. Albers pounces on the puck. There he goes, dropped it off to Brinker. Played it around the kick plate. Owen fed it to the slot and just away from Albers. Back with it, Basor for Christian. Pushed it to the near side. Pass to the front again. It bounced off the body of Finch and wide into the corner off the feed from Cam Loffer. Hooper shoots wide from out high. And the Eagles are knocking at the door, trying to make it 4 wins in a row. After their UP excursion, Finch having some difficulty with a bouncing puck, but he's got it now. And play is halted, 13-16 remaining in the second. I mentioned in the first period not just the return of the Pioneers to the ice, but also the return of Chris Newton behind the bench. Only missed a couple of games after the double lung transplant he underwent. That was just about a week and a half before Christmas in treatment for his battle against cystic fibrosis. Brooks turning the corner. Brooks right to the front. Mullen shuts it down. And no further play with Bjornsson just waiting for a rebound, but there was none to be had. So here we go. Now we're getting engaged on both ends. Feels like a matter of time. Puck's going to go in soon, but you never know in this game. Sometimes the flurries can happen, and then it shuts off for a while. Christian executes a late change. They get Beerline off the ice, and DeYoung goes on. That's unusual because as the home team, East should have the final change. I guess an exception was made there. Might have been an equipment issue, actually. One of the East assistant coaches had his hands in the air wondering what was going on. But the puck is dropped. It's all sorted out, I suppose, or well enough. Brooks nubbed it over for Bjornsson. The net comes off behind Braden Malin to our left as Winkle and DeYoung collide. And the student section responds to it. The faceoff will be out at center because it's ruled the Pioneers were responsible for the net popping off. And so the all-senior line of Ross, Albers, and Owen take the ice. Trying to put together an offensive push. Well, they'll get an offensive zone faceoff coming up after DeYoung ices it for Christian. And they'll draw it from the right circle. Albers, Ross, and Owen have combined for 58 points so far this year. Point shot by Hill, a good one, but the dart ended up right into the chest of Malin and there's no rebound. 58 points from that line, including 24 goals. 24 of the 44 goals scored by the Pioneers this year from that top unit, which has remained together throughout the year. Albers, clean face-off win back to Hill. He gave it to Stropke. Rolling puck, so he simply dumped behind the goal. Owen turning it out in front again. He tried to find Albers one more time, and again it didn't work, but a good step up from Hill to keep it alive in the attacking zone. Albers nearly got there to break up the Christian play, but Christian does clear. Stropke flicked it to center, driven right back in by Josh Hooper. Around the wood it goes. Picked up by the swerving Kamelhofer. He's in the corner with Ross. Ross wins the puck. Stropke, flip play. That struck a seam in the boards, so it bounced toward the middle, and the Pioneers swing it out through to center, looking for Ross on his side. Hill drives it ahead. No icing here. Malin saucers it, but right to Owen. Kicks it to his stick. Owen's pass for Bird in his skates, and Bird couldn't control it. I think Bird was expecting a shot there. He was trying to get inside position for a rebound, perhaps. Stropke fishes it off the wall. Beerline shot in from center. It's a delayed offside. Make it just a regular old offside against Christian. Again, stopping play, 11:35 left in the second. As we still pursue our first goal of the game. East has been a hot starting team this year. By the way, just noticing a lot of the East players have purple hockey tape on their socks. I haven't seen any on their sticks. Oh, maybe Charlie Finch has it on his goal stick. That's for Hockey Fights Cancer. It is Hockey Fights Cancer night at Patterson. Brinker in some trouble. Fitzgibbon poked it right to the front of the net, and Finch has seen enough. Fitzgibbon had his stick knocked out of his hands. Dane Fitzgibbon, I have him listed as a defenseman, but he is certainly playing forward tonight and playing it well. 2 goals, 6 total points for him on the year. After just 4 points, all assists last season, but he might have been a D last year. I did see Christian a couple of times last season. I saw them play Catholic Central twice, losing both of those. 2-1 in the regular season, 5-0 in the playoffs, first round against Catholic Central down at Southside. Bjornsson looks up. His pass too far for Brooks. It ends up right on net, and Brooks has a little snow shower there for Braden Malin, who hangs on again. Christian has never won a region under Zimmerman, but like I said, they return a lot of skaters from last year's team, which was a winning team. And in fact, I don't have a ton of seniors. Of course, they have some important ones, like Josh Hooper, 30 points on the season. Bjornsson looked to shoot. That was blocked. Hill right to the net. It was going over the goal, and it was snatched anyway by Malin. Sharp glove save with those all black pads and black gloves and a black mask for Malin. Usually you see goalies lean toward the light-colored equipment. The thought was that it would attract the shooter's eye, and he'd subconsciously end up aiming for the pads. I'm not sure that's actually true, but anyway, Kaschlofer back. Shot save made by Finch with his white pads, I'll note. 2 different approaches to it. Finch makes his best save of the night on Kaschlofer, who has 7 goals on the year. Turned over, Winkle trying to swerve in. Left it behind in the slot, and Bjornsson overskated it. Down it goes, right in on Finch, and again he'll hold as we creep along in the second period. 10:24 to go. Charlie Finch, who was given some accolades as one of the top 10 newcomers in Michigan high school hockey by the website Petey's Picks. Just happy to see that deserving recognition for Finch, coming in as a 9th grader and standing tall so far. The face-off won by the Eagles. Around the horn it goes, and the snapshot missed the target into the corner. That wrister came from Sam DeYoung, and the puck's bogged down on the near side half wall. Albers reaches in, trying to pull it loose. 3 Pioneers are there. It's Frida Owen who clears, and it'll bounce, rolling wide of the goal, just barely over the red line. And another icing, this time, though, against East Grand Rapids. East Grand Rapids ranked 3rd in Division III by Michigan High School Hockey Hub, 9th overall in their all-division rankings. I think really the Pioneers dropped a couple of spots in those rankings just because they haven't been playing. And they could do about it, and now they're trying to do something about it. But they ice it one more time. The breakout's just getting a little bit sloppy at the moment. It happens. First game in 18 days. A couple of breakout passes just have zipped by the intended targets. And the Pioneers take the opportunity to change the defense pair. Stropke and Hill go back out. It's been Stropke with Hill, Brinker with Rowan. It was the opposite, actually. They were shuffled at the start of the game, at least for the opening puck drop. Stropke pins his man. Playing hard. You never know that suffered a fairly severe upper body injury against Salem about a month and a half ago. Ains tried to guide it toward the target, blocked by Stropke. He pitchforks it ahead. Owen couldn't get it out. His pass was broken up. Basor turning it toward the slot, deflected in on Finch, and he hangs on the opportunity for Hooper right at the side of the net. Strength against strength right now. Well, it was, and now Christian changes lines. And so will East in response. 9:16 remaining in the second period. Seems like we can't go more than a minute without a whistle in this game. Looking forward to a busy January for East Grand Rapids. West Ottawa Friday, Caledonia Saturday, next week Catholic Central here on Wednesday, and then a college-style 2-game series against Forest Hill Central as the puck deflects into the Christian bench. Each team will get a home game, quote-unquote, on the 17th and the 18th. Looks like I'll have the game on the 18th for you on the East Hockey live stream. That's the plan, at least for now. Center ice face-off. Rare time you see it at the center circle. Bjornsson turns up ice. In over the line. Nope, looked offside. It was offside. And East is just having a hard time revving its engine. Or the engine is revving, but they're stuck in park at the moment. The draw just outside the blue line. And for a team that's used to putting some pucks in the net, scoring quite a bit, just got to fight off the frustration. No icing. Thank goodness. It's waved off on the deflection by East Grand Rapids after the errant Christian lead pass. Brooks. Lateral pass off to Hill. Slides it in deep. Malin handed it off, but right to Bennett Winkle. Winkle turns the corner, fires. Blocker save by Malin. He punched it to the near side wall. Brooks in after it. Bjornsson follows on. His pass off the outside of the goal frame. Collected, though, by Winkle. Winkle trying to navigate his way into the middle, but it's poked away from his blade, and the Eagles work it back the other way. Beerline over the blue against Stropke. Couldn't get the shot away. Stropke just took away all of his options. Brinker takes it now, stripped away and pushed in front by Basor, but no harm, no foul. To the side wall, DeYoung, he tried to make his way toward the slot, and he was dispossessed. Brinker, angles it. Bjornsson reaching ahead, and it's back in the clutches of the Eagles and Sam DeYoung. DeYoung, the sophomore D, playing much older than that. He looks really strong out there. Number 9 in black. Meanwhile, DeYoung lost possession. Albers, can he get a hold of it? He cannot. And Rowan pushed it around the boards. Owen out toward the point, and Albers couldn't quite get there. Just those little passes aren't connecting at the moment. To the middle, chance for Cash Loffer, and he was rejected. Now a turning chance from the near side by Ben DeYoung, and that got nothing but glass. Pioneers on the counter. It's Albers with Owen. Albers shooting, deflected off the defenseman Sam DeYoung. Continues to play well, but he's at the end of a long shift. See if the Pioneers can keep it in the zone. DeYoung latches onto the puck and drives it away. He's content to simply ice it because he'll get a chance to get off the ice. You can do that at this level. 6:48 left in the second. We still have no goals in the game. That is not a typo on your screen. This is the longest we've gone into a East game this year without a goal. East season low for offense is 2 goals. They lost 3-2 at Marquette in overtime, won 2-1 against Rockford in overtime, and lost 5-2 to Flint Powers Catholic. So 3 of those last 4 have come, or 3 of those have come in their last 4 games. Hacked on net by Bird, and Malin had to make a save, and he found the rebound between his pads. The puck just disappeared. I guess that's the benefit of the black leg pads. A little bit of camouflage. If the puck's up against it, you might not be able to see it right away as an attacking player. I sure didn't see it as a broadcaster. But what I was trying to spit out there was in 3 of their past 4 games, the Pioneers have been held to 2 goals. And in the other game that they won before the break against Sault Ste. Marie, they scored just the 3. So a bit of a downward trend there before they adjourn for the holidays. Natural ebb and flow of the season. You're not going to put in 5 goals a night every night. Guess what? Icing again against Christian. This game might be setting offensive hockey back a few months. I say that, but we have had plenty of opportunities for both sides. Just a lot of errant passing for both teams, really. But I've sensed that Christian is a little more content to take the icing, whereas in the Eagle or the Pioneers case, they're actually trying to make plays, but it's just not working out. Hill with a step up. Good pinch to keep this play alive. Ross bunted it middle for Winkle's turning backhand, and it was blocked by DeYoung, and then Winkle was cleaned out on the body check by DeYoung. Driven off the far wall by Hill. It bounced to the side of the net. Malin pins it for a face-off. 5:57 remaining in the second. It's a grind-it-out type of game tonight, I'll tell you that much. Thank you for joining us on the East Hockey live stream. First game here at home in quite some time, in fact. Just looking back at it since the West Michigan Showcase. Brinker gets his motor revved and shoots in from the far side. Owen leaning in, did pry it loose. Albers trying to jump on top of it. Unable to get there in time to disrupt the play. Loffer swings it around. Basor sprays some snow, stops up against Ross to the front of the net. The pass, and Hooper just steered it wide from right in front of the net. The Christian crowd reacted as Albers pulls it away. Albers stopped by Malin on the partial breakaway. 5:10 to go in the second. We remain 0-0. James Albers picked the pocket of an Eagle at the blue line. I think that was Oliver Ains by how he's reacting. And Albers, the leading goal scorer for the Pioneers, that close to making it a 1-0 lead and his 10th goal of the season, but not to be. Bird against Cash Loffer at the face-off dot. Both lean in. Not clean by any means. It skids to the corner. Bird, centering pass, and away from Jake Goosens. Cash Loffer in stride. The right-handed shooter down the left wing. Backhand pass to no one. taken off the near boards by Owen Runyon, and he escorts it to center. But poked away. Beerline for Christian. Flips it in, heads in after it. Bird takes possession. His pass at a leg. And it's back to the blue line. Miles Rubline sends in deep. Stropke nearly lost control of the puck. Ice getting a little bit chippy, a little bit dirty, as they say, late in the period. 4:15 to go. Between the legs pass by Kamloffer. Didn't work out to Hooper. Stepping up Rubline, and he shot it off the rink inadvertently with 4:04 left in the second. I think I'd say East had the advantage in play in the first period. This one's been more even. No penalties yet in the game, in addition to no goals. Just a completely clean sheet to this point. Rowan after the neutral zone faceoff. Hooks up with Brooks. Nolan Brooks leans in, and his backhand was blocked. Brooks to his own loose puck, though. He got it back. Winkle with Brooks. His pass deflected. Brinker shoots it wide of the goal. Big rebound off the glass. But the first one on it, Oliver Ains for Christian. Up the middle it comes, and Winkle got a stick on it, but couldn't keep it in the offensive zone. Basor pulling up again. Strong skating from Brody Basor. Assessing his options. Banks it. Where it's taken by Kamloffer. Exchanges at the point with Sam DeYoung. Down the wall to Hooper. Stripped by Cooper Rowan. Rowan hammers the bouncing puck. Off the boards, out it goes. Brooks sending Bjornsson up ahead into the attacking zone. Bjornsson solo mission right now as the Pioneers change, behind the play. And Bird takes the shot, Hill, got that one right. As it deflects over the glass, or over the net off the glass. Stropke, the shot toward the front of the net. DeYoung blocked it away. Side of the net, Hooper, end of a long shift for him, or he hopes it's close to the end, but he can't get it out on the reversal. Albers couldn't get to the puck, but he forced the bad pass. Hill intercepted at the line. Owen from the corner. Twists out of a tight spot. Hill, shot, save, rebound. Owen is robbed by Malin. Save of the night for sure. Braden Malin keeps it 0-0 with 2.5 to go in the second. Beerline let the shot go. That's one of the best saves I've seen at this level. No doubt about it. Looked like it was going to be a 1-0 Pioneers lead. Easy. Instead, it stays out. And I told you Malin's a stud, and he continues to play outstanding hockey for Christian. Oh, into the circle. Shooting. He tried to go short side, top shelf, and it missed off the glass. Fitzgibbon back. Put it in the skates of Hill, but Hill turned it aside. That's quite the battle there. Fitzgibbon centering, came back to the point. The shot from Shripka deflected wide. To the far side wall, Winkle looks up, off the partition. Perfect bounce, home ice advantage. Right to Oliver Owen. Chips it. Ross slowing, waiting. He's got a man coming off the bench. That's Nolan Brooks. Hits him with it. To the middle, Winkle. Stop by Malin again. The Pioneers are pushing, but just can't get it over the line. Not yet. 1:23 left in the second. I try to write down some significant saves during the game so I can go back and cut up the highlight reel when I get the opportunity, and those significant saves are adding up on my sheet. It's the only thing written down on my sheet at the moment. For right now, Basor took it away. Nolan Brooks bailed out his teammates with a perfect back check. Got the man and the puck, sending Basor sprawling. Hooper lost control on the poke check by Winkle. Under a minute to go in the second. Down the boards. Kamloffer. Hooper trying to come out in front, or at least pass it. It's intercepted and cleared. Down it goes. Ains. Good lead pass. Ben DeYoung. Forced it deep. 37 seconds to go in the second period. Brinker behind his goal for East, though. Up to Bjornsson. Bjornsson's pass for Winkle in the skates of Cash Loffer. He breaks it up. Broken stick on the ice in a couple of pieces. Not sure who that belongs to. 20 seconds left. Brinker trying to take this back from Fitzgibbon in the corner. Brinker, one more try. Albers got it through. Ross with 6 seconds. Fed it to Owen. Owen trying to get to his own dump in. Malin, though, reads the play, clears it away. Albers' shot from the far side boards was blocked. And we've come to the end of 2 with nothing on the board between East Grand Rapids and Grand Rapids Christian. The chances, though, picked up near the end of the period for the Pioneers. We'll see if they can maintain that momentum as we go to the third period. From Patterson Ice Center, I'm Matt Gajtka. This is your East Hockey live stream. Stay with us. Third period on tap. 0-0. East Grand Rapids and Christian. I'm Matt Gajtka on the East Hockey live stream. 17 minutes left in regulation. Will we see a goal? The Pioneers turned up the pressure late in the second, but could not get one past Braden Malin. And the two teams banging their sticks off the boards, as is custom, before the start of a big period. This is a big period. These two teams might see each other in the regional, might see each other in the OK Conference tournament. And they're seeing a lot of each other tonight. They continue to collide, banging bodies, throwing pucks to the front. Basor on the fresh ice. Behind the net, Stropke fanned on the initial clearance. And now it's Laufer, front of the net. Hooper centered it, and nobody home for Christian. Out it comes. Back into Eagles territory. Sam DeYoung into some traffic, high in the zone, but it does skitter to center. Rowan backpedaling. Stropke tried to pass it near side. It bounced to the far wing, right to Oliver Owen. Albers sends it in. The Pioneers are just barely onside. Ross tried a sharp angle sneak attack, but it went over the goal. Malin actually ducked to get out of the way of that one. Sometimes you'll see goalies these days actually try to head pucks like a soccer player. Henrik Lundqvist popularized that about 10, 15 years ago. That's not what Malin did there, though. He just got out of the way. That'd be a good idea. Goossens drop pass to the point, intercepted. Stolen by Ben DeYoung. 17 in black, works his way for a shot. Finch, the save off his chest. No trouble as the puck dropped right into his glove. Love watching goalies do their thing, man. It's such a specialized position in the world of sports. Maybe not a more important position. Right up there with quarterback in football. I would say it's probably those two positions that are the most important, but the thing with goaltending is you can only stop the shots you see. It sounds obvious, but it's a passive position inherently. It's not like quarterback where you can dictate play. As a goalie, it's all reaction. And reading the play, too. It takes a smart mind, a smart hockey mind, to be a good goalie, not just fast reflexes and perfect technique. Goossens couldn't take the lead feed. Oh, my long speech is over as Goossens snaps it around. I was joking with someone that I've gone through all my notes a couple of times already because of all the whistles in this game. Driven ahead, and guess what? Here comes another whistle, icing for what might be the 30th time against Grand Rapids Christian tonight. Sam DeYoung, the guilty party there. But I think it's a strategy for Christian. If they're under pressure, they're going to ice it. They're counting on their face-off men, including this guy right here, Josh Hooper, their leading scorer, and he does win it against Bennett Winkle of East Grand Rapids. Each team has had their chances. Icing again, I just don't understand. Sometimes they've had these situations where they could easily just gain the red line, and they're just not getting there. And actually, the Christian bench is having a laugh. The coaches are, including headman Sean Zimmerman. Chris Newton back behind the bench today in his 7th season. His teams have a combined record of 102, 61, and 5 at East Grand Rapids. Chris wearing the mask, which of course these days doesn't look so different. Winkle shooting off the side wall and a save by Malin. Bouncing puck. That thing was hopping around like crazy, and Malin captures it atop his crease for the face-off with 14:28 left in regulation. Bennett Winkle, he's been sniffing around. He could easily have a couple tonight. Winkle wins the draw. Brooks run off the puck, fights to get it back. His shot blocked to the corner. Ains clears it around. Out it goes. Poked through to center by Cam Laufer onto the twig of Brody Basor. Dragging it through. Basor to the doorstep, and it's stopped, but a penalty is coming up. Not sure a shot actually got through. Hooking the call. Hooper was obstructed as he tried to poke in the loose puck. And the first power play of the night will go to Grand Rapids Christian with 14:11 remaining in the third. Cooper Rowan to the penalty box for hooking, and it's a chance for redemption for the EGR penalty kill. Gave up a couple of power play goals to Flint Powers Catholic at the end of December. Well, the end of their December before they adjourned for holiday break. Ended up deciding the game. Cleared on the initial face-off win by Stropke. That's the way to get it started. Might be obvious, but clearing it 200 feet, well, it takes time and effort to get it back up into the attacking zone. Another clear by Stropke, just beyond the reach of Albers, and don't sleep on the Pioneers shorthanded either, especially with guys like Albers and Ross, high scorers both, on the ice killing penalties. Kamloffer's pass goes across. Basor takes it craftily as he spun around. Basor's a great skater. Loffer to Hooper, center point, near side, one-timer by Ames, goes wide. And Beerline deflected it, and it comes around the wall. Albers, here he comes. He's got Ross going to the net. Albers shot. He wanted to go top shelf, and he missed off the glass. 1:07 to go on the penalty. Back with it come the Christian Eagles. It's under the body of Albers, somehow onside. Basor protecting, poke check by Ross, who shakes his head. You're not getting by me there. Ross to the bench, puts in a great penalty-killing shift. 50 seconds remaining in the power play. Part of the reason we've had all the stoppages is we haven't had a lot of power plays. Usually power plays lead to continuous play. Haven't had any power plays until this moment. Winkle lofts it down into Eagles real estate. Cashloffer tries to make his way in. He was run into, and it's taken by Winkle, and he sends it the length. Owen chasing, pins his man, but dished away by Sam DeYoung. Up through to center. Glove down by Ben DeYoung. Poked off his stick. Back into the possession of Drew Shripka. Shoots right on net. Charlie Finch holds on. 8 seconds remaining on the Cooper Rowan penalty. Fresh bodies on the ice for East Grand Rapids. 8 seconds away from returning to 5-on-5 play. It's getting late in a couple of ways. It's nearly 10:30 on a Wednesday night. Do you know where your children are? Albers got clipped after the face-off. He's spun around. He's a little wobbly right now. I hope he's okay. Ross clears to the line, but no further. Albers tried to wipe out Shripka, could not do it. But the power play is over. East has killed it off. Let's see what they've got in the tank offensively. A shot toward the front, though, and saved by Finch on the rip by Oliver Ains. He was trying to get a puck to the front, maybe hope for a deflection or a rebound, but it was untouched all the way. Finch saw it all the way. We're on the East Rink at the Patterson Ice Center. This is the one that used to be the Olympic-sized rink. Maybe dating myself by referencing that. Wasn't that long ago, though. Brooks charging down the wing. Here's Nolan Brooks. Cut in move. Left it behind. Bird puts it on net. Mullen the save, and no rebound. Best chance of the period for East. And Mullen just seems to suck up those pucks like a magnet's attached to him. Came in with that .942 save percentage. Last year, .908. He's taken it to a new level this year. I've seen him a few times over the last 3 seasons. It's only getting better, but only so much a goalie can do. If a team just sticks with it, continues to pepper him, continues to generate chances. Rowan shoots it offline. Bjornsson tried to tip it, could not. Solid check as Winkle sent Beerline tumbling into the side wall, and he's hurting a bit. This game's getting brutal. DeYoung reverses the puck, but Bjornsson got a stick on it, centers it. Winkle collects it on the deflection, fed it to Bjornsson, went down to one knee to shoot it, but it was blocked by Miles Rubline into the corner. Winkle distributes to the near wing, but no one's home for East. Rowan couldn't keep it in at the blue line as the pass, or the pass skipped right by him. Fitzgibbon sends it deeper for Christian. Brinker on it to Owen. Pass to the middle, skips by Albers, but Bjornsson is on it. Albers getting into the kitchen of Fitzgibbon, trying to poke it by him. Owen has the loose puck. Ross tried to one-touch it toward the front to Albers, but the pass was blocked. Rowan with 10:30 left in the third. Dumps it in. Malin mishandled, but it's pushed up the far wing by Sam DeYoung. Turned over to Ross. Ross gets it in the slot. Fan on the shot. Albers to his backhand. Forehand. Save Malin atop his crease. Malin's putting on a show. 10:13 to go, and the Pioneers keep knocking on the door, but it's just not opening at the moment. Malin gave him nothing to shoot at. And I talked about goalies needing to read the play to be truly great, and Malin sensed that Albers didn't have a passing option, so he telescoped way out of his net. He practically smothered that shot. Would have taken a perfect shot from Albers to score. Stropke shooting, glove save Malin, and he keeps Brooks trying to deflect that. Just couldn't get a stick on it. Winkle leans in. The face-off, though, won by Grand Rapids Christian, visiting team tonight. Down it goes, untouched, icing. That one skipped by several skaters, a couple for either side. Somehow, no one got a piece of it. That's a break for East with just under 10 minutes remaining in the third. Well, it's been a good one tonight. I expected that, though. Christian came in hot. East trying to find its bearings after 18 days away from game action. I was going to say 18 days off. It's not really that. More like 2 weeks off, and then some practices this week. Coach Chris Newton said he put his guys through 3 80-minute skates, trying to shake out the Christmas legs. Get back to it as they carry a 9-2 record into the second half of the season. Whitaker Hill from the point. The high flip, too high as it turns out. It goes over the glass. Well, ruled to be deflected because this is staying in Christian territory. Josh Hooper is disputing that. He's saying, why is this not out at center? East changes its D. Hill and Stropke to the bench. Rowan and Brinker out there. The Winkle line is the forward unit. Bjornsson and Brooks with him. Winkle to it. From the half wall, dishes. Brinker shooting. Malin made the save, directed the rebound into the corner. Penalty on the way. Penalty against Grand Rapids Christian. Here's the opportunity East's been looking for all night. 9:25 remaining. And what's the call? Holding against Sam DeYoung, the sophomore D-man. So he'll have a seat. And the East Grand Rapids power play is so effective all year. Gets its first chance of 2025. Winkle, Albers, Owen, Brooks, and Ross. It's a 5-forward power play for East. 5 seniors at that. Brooks takes it. Winkle's in front. He'll speed it up the far wing. Oh, and it jumped over his stick. He's got to go back for it. Watch out. He's pressured hard by Hooper, who forces the pass to Ross, who flubbed the pass, trying to get it up the ice. Ross has to come back. Remember, it's 5 forwards out there for East. Basor in after it, and you know Christian knows that too. They're going to try to push it short-handed. Basor dragged it right to the front, still loose. Owen pushed it over to the near side, and here's Brady Ross to settle things down, calm it down for East. Ross skates out of the pack with the puck. Brady Ross, good speed, shooting off the goalpost, rebound side of the net. Owen on top of it here. Cradles, gives off to Albers. Albers to Ross. Pressured at the point, but he fed it to Albers to the face-off circle. And Brooks spinning around the top of the dot, shot it, and it's off the stick of Malin to the near corner. Ains couldn't clear. Albers has it to the front of the net, bouncing off the body of Malin to the far side boards. Winkle taking command, or trying to. It hops loose to Owen. Hands to Ross. He's got Albers at the face-off circle, but his intended pass was broken up. Pushed out to the line and out into the neutral zone. 7:55 to go in the third. Same unit remains out there for East. Well, now they've made a couple of changes, actually, as Jake Goosens takes the ice. Ross, still plenty of jump in his legs, though. Circles the goal, waiting for reinforcements. Bird goes toward the net on the backside. Instead, the pass comes to Owen. Owen to Ross. Lines it up. Deflected shot. Bjornsson put it on goal. Save Malin, and he jumps on top of the puck with 7:32 remaining in the period. 7 seconds left on the power play. Well, some half chances, I'd call them, for East, and then the shot off the post. The best look. Ross, the most threatening player on the power play, but now East prepares for the return to even strength. They've got Bird, Goosens, and Bjornsson as the forward group. Stropke and Hill are the D. Brody Basor, co-captain for Christian, will take the draw. And the puck is dropped. Christian wins it. Cleared around. Out it goes by Konstantin Kim. Stropke drives it ahead just in front of the red line. No icing, but the power play is over. Each side 0 for 1 in the third. Long lead pass finds Basor. Couldn't pull the trigger. Stropke ran him off into the ditch. Brilliant defensive work from Owen Stropke, who drives it down the ice. That is icing, and Christian wants a penalty. East is saying there were 6 men on the ice for Christian as well. The entire coaching staff holding up 6 fingers, it seems like. Chris Newton among them. But apparently, any potential too many men call was undetected by the officiating crew. We've had a ton of close calls in this game. They're piling up. Nothing yet. 7:08 to go in the third. 0-0. Stropke does a pirouette move to get away from Cash Loffer. Lead pass, Brooks. Soft serve to the middle, intercepted. And Stropke has to retrieve and re-wreck for East. Brooks nearly tipped it by Ains at center. Ains is an aggressive defender. Bjornsson driving, pulling up. Fan on the pass. Stropke, though, keeps it alive in front of the Christian bench. To the far boards, Winkle knocked it along. Bjornsson, can he make a move? No, he can't. The puck rolled away from him. Long distance shot from DeYoung. That missed the target. Finch let it go. Owen couldn't take the feet up the boards. Ains a chance, blocked by Hill. Owen sending it back. Skates it into the attacking zone. He's got Bjornsson with him. Owen wristing glove save by Malin. And he keeps it at his side. 6:12 to go. Owen can wire that puck, and Malin made it look easy, grabbing it. And just as important, no rebound. It's one of those memorable defensive duels. I don't see a lot of nothing games, but here we are. And of course, in high school hockey, it can finish 0-0. Basor trying to change all that. Rowan, solid work defensively, stood him up, stripped him of the puck. And Albers drags it around. Stripka. Albers to the dot. Controls it. Looking for an option. The pass comes to Brinker. He shot it. It bounced away from Owen's control. Sam DeYoung set sail. Here he comes down the wall. Bumped by Rowan. Puck up for grabs in the corner. Bird poked it loose, but right to Basor. Basor centers away from Hooper, and it skids through the neutral zone. Back down to our right. 5.5 left in the third. Clearing pass, hit a Christian skate. Runyon poking Bird, couldn't quite get there in time. Hill responds to the stick tap of Stropke. Sent it his way, and the senior Stropke dumps in deep. Malin couldn't quite stop it all the way. Bird pursuing on the forecheck. 5 minutes to go in the third period. Runyon had it poked by him. All the way down it goes. It'll settle over the goal line for another icing against Christian. Whitaker Hill back just in case. .454 left. And we are coming down the stretch. If you're curious, East has played 3 overtime games this year. Won one, lost one, and the other went to a shootout in the West Michigan Showcase. Special situation there. There will be no shootout tonight. Actually, you know what? There was no overtime that night. It went straight to the shootout after the third period. 1-1 against Houghton. East won that shootout memorably on a Trevor Bird goal. The freshman came through. Here's a freshman. Hill shot. Malin saw it through traffic and absorbs it. Top of his crease. We'll do it again from the attacking zone for East Grand Rapids. As for Christian, they've played just one overtime this year. They lost 6-5 to Rockford at home. That dropped them to 2-5. They're now 6-6 after a resurgence in December and now in January. They've won 3 in a row coming into here. They'll play South Lyon Unified over the weekend in Muskegon. Part of a showcase tournament. Not really a tournament, excuse me, showcase weekend. Hill angles it near side wall. For Christian Fitzgibbon, hasn't done too much in this third period. He was a menace in the first couple periods, and he runs off Whitaker Hill with a body check. Hill takes it back for East, though. His flip, glove down by Winkle. Pass eludes the reach of Bjornsson. Pushed right in on the East goal. Finch knocks it along. No icing here. It was ruled that Sam DeYoung could have played it, and he definitely could have. He dummied that right in front of the linesman. DeYoung up the middle with that feed. Up in the air, too. Albers got a piece, but not the whole thing. So Ethan Brinker has to charge back to take it out of the corner. Anybody's game, obviously, at this moment. 3:30 to go in the third. Near side circle. Hooper couldn't pull it free for a shot. Ross unable to clear with that purple Hockey Fights Cancer tape on his stick. Hooper behind the goal. Regular white tape on his blade. Turn it over to James Albers. Albers tried to head up ice. He was stripped. Chance for Basor. Deflected off the rink. Cooper Rowan got his stick in there at the last second. 3:10 remaining in the third. Next game for East is here at home on Friday against West Ottawa. Non-division game, but still in the OK Conference. Essentially, we're in like an East-West situation in the OK Conference these days. Loose puck at the front of the net, and unable to turn it in front was Ben DeYoung. He fanned on it as he had his stick lifted, but Young intercepts it at center ice. Oh, he tried to send it ahead, but Brinker stopped it up there at the blue line. Pass did not come through. Winkle trying to cause some havoc. He ran right through Sam DeYoung, but the Eagles clear. And no icing as it was deflected ahead off the stick of Drew Bierlein. Bierlein was lurking a couple of times on those breakout passes, trying to get by behind the East defense. Picked off high in the zone. Wrister by Ben DeYoung blocked. Drive by Ains. Just missed the goal on the full slapper. Pushed toward the front of the net and poked away. Far side, Nolan Brooks. Could be a 2-on-1 with Bryce Bjornsson. Gave it to Bjornsson. He waits. He feeds too far for Nolan Brooks. Into the corner it goes. Cleared to the center red line. Bunted across to Stropke. Oh, it's offside. Albers just a half step ahead as Stropke dragged it in. That might have been a good chance, too. So the 2-on-1, a little bit awkward. Bjornsson had to wait a moment to control the puck at the blue line. Still, though, could have connected onto Brooks, just the pass maybe a few inches ahead of him from where he could pull it in and shoot, perhaps. It's Ross with 2:04 left after the neutral zone faceoff was controlled by the Pioneers. DeYoung reversed it, far corner. Ross on it, centered, and it's intercepted. Couldn't get it through to Owen. Back with it, three-man rush for the Eagles. Hooper down the wing, centered it right in front of the net and poked just wide. The Eagles got to it just in time. Basor stripped by Albers. Captain against captain in the corner. Albers clears it out. No icing. So the chase is on. Ross against DeYoung. DeYoung taps to his defense partner, Ains. Ains gave it away in East territory. Owen slid it through. Ross just couldn't take that pass. He was upset at himself for missing it. Brinker bumped Laufer after he dumped in. Whithill with 1:12 left in the third. Flip off the window. Winkle relays it. Got it right back to Bennett Winkle. He's got to wait for his teammate to tag up Bjornsson, and he didn't quite get there as Brooks jumped up into the play, jumped up into the attacking zone a little bit too early. 1:01 left in the third after the offside call. Center ice draw, won by Christian. Final minute of regulation. Rowan in a tangle there in the corner. Fans want a penalty. They're not going to get it. It doesn't look like. Rowan with the puck. Flips it high off the glass and out it goes to center. And a hand pass called, I think. Against the Christian Eagles. 41.1 seconds showing on the clock. And we're essentially in sudden death now. Might as well say it. If you score now, about a 99% chance you win the game. Laufer pulls to his backhand for the dump in. Basor in the corner, bumped into by Albers. That pops the puck loose. Cam Laufer couldn't shoot it. Lofted down the ice. Trouble here for Sam DeYoung, but he made a good play. Great play, in fact, to knock it away from Albers, who was right there in his face. And now Brinker mishandled. Hooper behind the net wraparound. Saved by Finch and cleared by the Pioneers. That close to the winner for Christian. Not going to be icing. The puck rolled up on edge with 5 seconds to go in the third period. We're going to overtime at Patterson, tied 0-0. 2-minute intermission. We'll take a break on the East Hockey live stream. Stay with us. We're going to sudden death. It's going to require an extra period tonight. 8 minutes on the board. We'll skate 5-on-5, just as a reminder, just like a continuation of the regular game. Next goal wins it, though. East is 1-1 in overtime, plus a shootout win this year. Christian is 0-1 in overtime. East in the white, Christian in the black. East attacking the goal to our left in the overtime period. It's like a fourth period, essentially. But it only lasts 8 minutes. Brooks couldn't get to the puck at center, but Stropke does. No ice cut, so the ice is choppy. You got to remember that, too. Got to be sure and strong on your stick. Hooper nearly wanted in regulation, and he fired it right over the crossbar, and the Christian fans shriek in disbelief as the play does continue. Basor couldn't poke it to himself in the slot. Stropke, a flip out through center, and that'll be icing against East Grand Rapids. 7:28 left in overtime. Well, we're already past the point where East won at Rockford in overtime. Owen Stropke scored his first varsity goal. This is his fourth varsity season. I think I called him a third-year varsity player at some point this year. It's his fourth varsity year. Scored his first goal against Rockford 8 seconds into that overtime. East also lost in the last seconds of overtime. Lead pass, though. Owen, can he get there? Malin broke his stick. Ross blocked by Malin in the slot somehow. I don't know how he stopped it. Incredible. Braden Malin, that stick is snapped right in half. He did it all with a broken stick, and he's going to need a stick from the bench. Chris Newton's yelling something. Christian wants to fetch a stick from the locker room. The referee is telling Chris to calm down. East is claiming they got to continue to play. Malin gets the stick from the backup goalie. So apparently you can't go to the locker room to get a new stick. That's what I'm gathering from all this. That was quite the argument, and a timeout's been called. I think by Christian. By the way, Brody Basor went off to the dressing room to get a new stick for Malin. That was heated. Never thought I'd see that big of an argument over a stick replacement. You don't often see a goalie break a stick, though, and it appears that someone has run to the room. It's one of the scratches for Christian, but he retrieved that stick. He ran around the perimeter of the rink. I just think a player is not allowed to go fetch it. Well, the East coaching staff was adamant about that fact. I assume it was Christian who called the timeout. I'm not sure. I never heard an announcement. I think it's a new PA person tonight, or someone who doesn't usually do it. But that person has not had much to announce. Just 2 penalties, both in the third period, and that's it. I still don't know how that puck didn't go in, though. Ross, I thought, was ready to bury that in the open net, and Malin made a save about 25 feet out of his goal, maybe. Malin, it's funny, you can also see the backs of his calves exposed. He doesn't wear the super long socks that goalies often do. Almost always do in this case. It's like a street hockey goalie almost in that way. Stropke nearly had it taken away at the line by Cam Lawford. Did not. Worked it in deep. Hooper, though, picks it off for Christian. Pass in front of his own net. Albers takes it away. Pass to Ross. Shot. Oh, my. Nearly trickled through Malin, but it stays in his pads. Between his legs. Another face-off coming up with 6:59 to go in the overtime. You only get 25 of these games, so overtime's so pivotal in a season sometimes. Especially in a conference game, a division game against a team you might see in the region playoffs as well. It's part of the reason why it's so heated. Basor to the front. Finch grabs it off the ice on a short hop. Well, it's easy to say we're only here because of Braden Malin, but Charlie Finch has also obviously held up his end of the bargain. He just hasn't had that much volume, or as much volume as Malin has had to face. Quality and quantity has picked up as East has started to find its hands and its legs. Times both tonight have been a little bit lacking. No icing on the dump in, but for both teams that's applied. Brooks picks it off. Try to pull it out in front. Open net. Saved by Malin. Rebound still free. And it's behind the goal. I guess it wasn't an open net because Winkle was denied. Malin jumped across to get his chest in front of that shot. Winkle, strong check against Cam Loffer right in front of the penalty boxes. Picked off at center by Bjornsson. Can this line do it for East? They nearly did moments ago. Hooper trying to navigate against three defenders. Poked away from him. High-rising shot by Basor off the corner glass to the point on Oliver Ains. He kept it alive, but handed it right back to Stropke. Long lead feed. This will go right on net. No icing. Malin thought about freezing it. He won't. East changes up its players ahead of the play. Long lead pass. Pulled in and snapped wide by Ben DeYoung. Around the corner it goes. Will be a breakout for East. Brinker to Stropke. The two exchange. Owen. He's got Ross going to the net. Owen shot. Save made by Malin with the stick. The new stick, by the way. Three-man rush for the Eagles. 5:20 left in overtime. Flips it into the corner. And Owen spun it around. Albers took a hard check at center. Good check by Shripka to send him spinning. But Owen, Albers, deking. Albers missed the net high. That would have been quite the retort. Shot by Brinker goes off somebody in front, maybe Owen in fact, and hopped to the side of the net and cleared by the Eagles. Boy, people are living and dying with every pass of the puck right now. Winkle took it away, centered Bjornsson, overskated in the slot, but Winkle pokes it away from the Eagles' Kashloffer. Winkle being held on to a bit. No penalty. Winkle works his way free. High shot missed. The Pioneers are trying to go under the bar against Malin. It's just not working out. Bjornsson reaching back on the back check, but powered ahead by Christians DeYoung. 4:20 left in overtime. Nearly halfway through the sudden death session. And we've had plenty of close calls and chances. Malin lets it go. His defenseman, Sam DeYoung, handles. Lead pass intercepted at center by Stropke. The Eagles backtracking as the Pioneers dump it in deep. Around the boards it goes. Past Rowan. Chipped ahead. Basor. Good chance back. Basor. Pad save by Finch. It deflects to the far corner. Pushed behind the net. Basor battling against Stropke. Stropke popped it loose. Fitzgibbon couldn't get there in time. Poked by him by Nolan Brooks. Brooks surfing into the attacking zone. He's got Bjornsson with him. The Pioneers get another fresh body on the ice. Stropke pushed it down the boards. Bjornsson centering. It was blocked. Winkle, though, he's been great tonight. Just hasn't been able to find the range. Stropke's shot. Stick save by Malin. 3:20 to go in the overtime. Stropke's pass across. Hill shooting. Deflected. Malin grabbed it out of the air and holds with 3:14 to go in sudden death. Just a few more shifts left if we go the distance. And as our friends in soccer say, it's still 0-0. Late, very late, almost 11 o'clock on a Wednesday night. If you need a note for your teacher, I can sign it for you tomorrow, late arrival. If only, right? Cleared out by the Eagles. Charlie Finch, the freshman goalie, hands off to the sophomore D, Cooper Rowan. His pass through center was deflected. It'll go just wide of the net. No, it wasn't deflected. It is icing. It can even go through the crease and still be icing, in case you didn't know. If you were confused by why Malin was just hugging his post. 2:59 left. I said earlier we were down the stretch. We're really down the stretch now. We're right at the finish line. If no one scores, it's a tie. Someone has a timeout left. I'm not sure who took that timeout earlier in OT. I assumed it was Christian. Stropke wires it out to center. Here comes Owen. Dropped it off to Ross. Waiting for help. Left it. Brinker shooting. Missed the net on the short side. Ross to Rowan. Around the horn to Brinker. He tried to put it toward the front. It was blocked. And it goes hopping into the East Grand Rapids bench, I think. It hit somebody. And so Christian will have to defend a face-off in its own end. East, I like that breakout play from East. You could tell the plan was for Stropke just to hammer it off the glass. Nearly led to a 2-on-1, but at any rate, it produced a long offensive zone possession for the Pioneers. 2:38 left. Albers, Ross, and Owen out there. Hill and Stropke, the defenseman. Off the tie-up. It's taken by the defenseman Ains. He's dispossessed by Owen out by the line, but the Eagles send it through, and it rolls up on edge, causing some extra trouble for the Pioneers to retrieve. Stropke delays after the forechecking Cam Loffer peeled out into the neutral zone. Albers, defensive posture right now for the Eagles. 4 men back. 1-4 look on the neutral zone forecheck. They don't want anyone to get behind him. But they'll have to go back in their own end for this faceoff. 2:05 left. Icing against Christian. The faceoff will be at the near dot. And still plenty of students left in the student section. Owen Stropke said something to one of the boys tapping on the glass. He's hanging back now as Stropke as the loose puck is battled for. Bjornsson shot, but it's deflected over the glass behind the net. .154 showing on the overtime clock. And I'm wondering about a timeout at some point, but not taken yet. Cam Loffer drives it around for Christian. Basor, the backhand pitchfork play, and slammed ahead by Cam Loffer. Finch handles behind his net, reverses it for Hill. Turned over behind the goal. Hooper spinning away from the checking pressure of Stropke. Hooper fed to the blue line. DeYoung shooting deflected, goes behind the goal. Wraparound try by Cam Loffer, stopped by Finch, and Winkle was wiped out on a trip. Delayed penalty coming up against the Eagles, but Bjornsson has a chance to win it. Blocker save by Malin, and it's loose, and it's touched by Christian with 1:19 to go in overtime, and we'll have an OT power play for East Grand Rapids. Bennett Winkle was tripped in his own zone. Hooper to the penalty box. Second power play of the night for the Pioneers. One last chance, one last kick at it, or else it'll be a scoreless tie. Timeout taken. There's the timeout for East Grand Rapids. So the earlier one was, as I suspected, the Christian Eagles. They took it to get the new stick in the hands of Braden Malin. He broke his on a frantic play in the first minute of overtime, you might recall. And now we're down to the last 1:19, and East Grand Rapids takes the timeout. All it's going to take is one to win it tonight, but can they get it? Christian has been shut out one time this season. They lost 1-0 in their pre-Thanksgiving rivalry game at home against Grand Rapids Catholic Central. But that was not an overtime game. East has not been shut out. In fact, this will be their lowest offensive output of the season, even if they win. They have scored more than one in each of their first 11 games. They do have one shutout win, and that against Forest Hills Northern and Eastern, 6-0 in late November. Well, we're almost to 11 o'clock. But will the clock be striking midnight for the Christian Eagles? They've been hanging in here against the 9-2, top 10 ranked East Grand Rapids Pioneers. But the Pioneers get a power play, and it's their ace face-off man, Bennett Winkle, and he does the job. He wins the draw. Ross controls Owen, shooting through a screen, deflected just wide. Albers retrieves on the far wall. Albers pulls up his pass for Owen, trying to get some momentum moving toward the net, but the pass was away from his reach. Brooks takes it back. Brooks pulled the trigger on the shot. It's blocked into the high slot. Winkle whacking at it. It's free for Brooks. 53 seconds to go in overtime. We'll go by that clock. It's a power play for East Grand Rapids. Josh Hooper in the box for Christian. Front of the net. Loose in front of the goal. They battle for it. Owen takes control again. 40 seconds left. Owen rips it. Save Malin. Short side chance, but Malin closed it down and no rebound. It's one of those games, if you win it, you remember it for a long time. If you tie it, it was still an enjoyable night, but it's not going to have that long-lasting effect. Winkle pokes to the wall, around to the far side. Basor's got a man breaking up ice, but he can't get it to him. It's picked off at center by Albers, who was alert to make the play, but he lost control as he tried the cutback move at the blue line. Cashloffer cleared. 20 seconds left in overtime. Can East win it? They'll need a dynamic rush. Ross over the blue line, pulls up. 11 seconds, down to 9. Owen fed it across, it was blocked. Far side, Albers, 5 seconds. They need a shot. Albers, wristing, bounces wide of the goal. Karams out to the near side point, and that's it. It's a 0-0 tie between Christian and East Grand Rapids. That'll do it. The power play doesn't bear fruit, and both teams will skate away with the draw, and both goalies come away with a shutout. Braden Malin, heroic tonight for Christian, and Charlie Finch gets his second shutout of his freshman season. He's now 9-2-1. So are the Pioneers. So an anticlimactic ending, but fittingly, the two goalies start the handshake line. Finch and Malin, your big-time performers this evening. East just couldn't poke one over the line in overtime. And Christian knocked on the door a few times tonight. They hit a post. They had some looks as well, but in the end, they might feel better about this tie than East Grand Rapids does. Not wanting to put thoughts in people's minds that aren't there, but it's just my feel of the situation, especially with East being at home. But the Pioneers get back on the ice. They play what ends up being quite the entertaining affair against their OK Rue Division rivals in the Christian Eagles, and we'll see if we see them again in the OK Conference Tournament or in the region playoffs. Thanks again to Jake Tiedema for running the camera tonight, for Coach Chris Newton and everyone with the East Grand Rapids Pioneers. Great to see Chris behind the bench again. By the way, that's a win tonight, regardless of the result on the scoreboard. I'm Matt Gajtka. We'll talk to you next time on the East Hockey Live Stream.